Morning, Mr. Bustani.
Hello, Mr. Nadi. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I believe you're the only
Thank you.
advocate on the line. I don't see that Mr. Abu Adas is being represented today. Is that correct?
Yeah, it doesn't seem so, despite several
Attempts.
delays and yes, and requests of changes of legal representatives. And obviously, this is a part of a pattern that you have been noticing, I believe.
Absolutely, yes. Mr. Bustani, I guess what I want to do today is just understand where
Yes,
matters sit out in terms of the Abu Adas case. Mr. Barghouti's case is stayed, as you know, so we can't really do much in
yes,
that regard. But I just
yeah,
want to hear your
yes,
thoughts
yes,
first on what you think the next steps should be,
yes,
where the case is at, just
yes,
factually,
yes,
and the consolidation. I did see your very brief note yesterday, which was sent to the registry, but
yes.
in case you'd like to elaborate, I'll hear from you on that.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems that Abu Adas and Barouti although the Barouti case is stayed, but they have been following the same also the same modus operandi. So in terms of so Abu Adas has filed a jurisdictional objection to allege or to claim the jurisdiction of an arbitral tribunal. And as you know, in the case of Mr. Barghouti, this has been disposed of by His Excellency Judge Omar Mahiri by giving jurisdiction to the DIFC courts. So in terms of Mr. Abu Adas, we would likely follow the same pattern. Now, if Mr. Abu Adas doesn't have or doesn't choose a representative in the very near future, I would suggest that that the IFC courts dispose of this jurisdictional objection on papers without a hearing. We will file our reply. That would be the same as the one we filed for Barouti, and the judge can then rule on the jurisdictional objection. And then we will proceed to the case in the merits, where he is supposed to file a defense in the substance. And if he doesn't do so, we will file for a judgment in default.
Okay, so now with the jurisdictional challenge, has Mr. Abu Adas filed his full application as pleaded?
I saw an application. I don't know if he filed a full skeleton of arguments, but the last I saw was an application for a jurisdictional objection, obviously raising the same arguments that Mr.
Right.
Barouti, that, yeah.
Okay, and this was filed some time ago. I can see that.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
Bankmed hasn't had the opportunity to respond to that, has
yes,
it?
not yet.
Not
Not
yet. Okay. If
yet.
you just bear with me, Mr. Bustani, let me just have a quick look at this application to see if there's any meat to it. Because if
Yeah,
there is no meat to it, I might just make the order now that the application is disposed of on the basis that it
yeah,
hasn't been progressed. And Mr. Abu
yeah,
Adas doesn't seem to be interested in
yeah,
progressing it. Just bear with me, please.
yeah. Yes, take your time.
Mr. Bustani, I can see that a 27-page document was filed on the 8th of July 2017. I believe this is how we should proceed. In the event that Mr. Abu Adas wishes to continue on with his application with a jurisdictional challenge,
Yes.
he must signal his
Yep.
intention to do so by this Thursday.
Okay.
I'm going to give him 2 days on the basis that it's a very quick turnaround. So we'll give him until 4 p.m.
Yes.
today, and I'll get you to prepare a draft order to this effect.
Yes.
If we don't hear from him by Thursday, then I'll make an order immediately that the jurisdictional challenge application is dispensed with, so he'd have to refile it in case he wants to proceed with that. If he does wish to continue on with it, then he's to signal his intention by Thursday to continue on with it and file all of the relevant documents by Monday at 4 p.m. in case he's got any further documents to file. If he's got no further documents to file, then he's to let us know by Thursday, and your firm will then have 1 week. Is that enough to respond to the jurisdictional challenge?
Yes, it should be enough because I believe it's the same argument, so our reply will be the same as in the Barghouti case, so it should be fine, yes.
Excellent. And if that then proceeds, then we will make a decision at the time on whether it should be dealt with on the papers or by hearing. I'm just looking at the application notice now to see if that it says at a hearing. But I'll take a look at the papers at the time they're filed, and I'll make a decision then on whether it should be dealt with at a hearing as he requested or in the papers. So that's the first thing. After the jurisdictional challenge is determined, in the event that he is going ahead with it, then we'll obviously start looking at the merits of the case. I don't intend on delaying this any further. This application was filed over a year ago. It's been 1 year and 1 month now, and it really should be dealt with very, very promptly. So let's hope that that is resolved in the next 2 weeks tops. That takes us until about just after mid-August, so 18th of August, even before then, because if Mr. Abu Adas is filing anything on the 10th, he's got 1 week to file. You've got then 1 week to file further documents, which is the 17th of August. So by the 17th of August, this case or this application would be fully pleaded. And then we'll progress to the merits of the application. I don't see, I think an order will be issued immediately taking off Charles Russell Speechley's off the record, because this application was filed. Actually, it hasn't been filed. I can't see that it has been filed on the system. So I do suggest that you serve any responses to Mr. Abu Adas in the usual way, as in, not to his lawyers, on the basis that I can't see that anyone's been appointed since. Now, is there anything else you wish to raise?
No, just my question, how are you going to liaise with him? I mean, to correspond with Mr. Abu Adas? To his personal email or?
I believe this Dr. Wael person has been liaising on his behalf. Is Mr. Abu Adas still in prison?
The last I know, he was in and out of prison, so I don't know really.
We don't know what the status is. Okay.
Yes.
I think we continue to liaise with Dr. Wael, on the basis that he seems to be sitting in as a McKinsey friend for Mr. Abu Adas. I would also copy in the US attorney who wrote to us last week.
I mean, this is, sorry to say it, but I don't know how the connection was made between Charles Russell's speeches, Sharb al-Mu'arbis, and for Sharb al-Mu'arbis to appoint, you see.
Yes, I mean, it's very unusual. Yes, correct. I mean, he's not yet on the record. I mean, at best, he's a McKenzie friend again, and I'll give Mr. Abu Adas the indulgence of giving him a couple of Mackenzie friends on the basis that he appears to still be in prison. So just, when you serve, I suppose I would just tick all the boxes in terms of making sure he's been put on proper notice of your response to the jurisdictional challenge. Again, that's only on the basis that he wishes to proceed with it.
Absolutely.
Now, Mr. Abu Adas might say that he wishes to proceed with it, and he might not wish to file any further documents, like we said, and that's just perhaps to delay things even more, but that's okay, and that's only because you'll be filing your response within the week anyway. So either way, the application will be dispensed with very, very soon. The cost of this directions hearing will be in your favour on the basis that Mr. Abu Adas hasn't bothered to even write to the registry or explain the delay. So you can costs are made out in favour of your client. Is there anything else that you wish to discuss before we wrap up?
No, nothing further. Thank you very much for your indulgence and for your prompt settlement of this case.
Thank you, Mr. Bustani. Could I please ask you to prepare a draft order and circulate it to the registry as soon as possible so we can seal that for you and get it out so that Mr. Abu Adas is very well aware of what he needs to do in the next 2 days.
Okay, very well.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Mr. Bustani.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.